Okay, everybody. All right. Okay, so.
All right. I guess we should go ahead.
And that's what happened the first time I met Grant Fritchie.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun. It's a shame we didn't have the camera rolling through that part of it.
I know, right? Man, well, you know, when you miss the pre-show.
Yep. Anyway. All right, you want to get it started or no?
Yeah, go ahead. Cue us in, Freddie. Somebody said beep it. That was the music stylings of our own Alan Hurt sequel. Ha!
Hi, Ha.
Hi, ha.
So, hi, guys. This is DBAs at Midnight.
Yes, it is.
It's DBAs at Midnight.
The teaching,
Ranting,
coughing,
blogging,
talking head,
techie,
so you can work show.
You're so cute. So,
Hey everybody, this is Jen, and she knows SRS so well she can make videos about it.
I do. This is Sean. He has hair stronger than God.
Really?
Why not?
I was hoping for at least a Chuck Norris.
All right, his hair is so strong it has a fighting chance against Chuck Norris.
I like my little guy.
I know. Check out my naganos.
Check out my naganos. Anybody get that on the chat?
Oh yeah, anybody get that on the chat? All right, so.
See my nagano?
Nice nagano you got there. All right.
TV is at 4 p.m. Go.
All right, so we've got stuff. We've got
we've got stuff tonight.
We've got news. We've got an award. We've got a couple of good tech tips.
I've got a rant.
At least you've got
It's
several
not a huge
topics.
rant. I've got several topics. I am topicked out.
And an update on where we're going to be in the next 7 weeks.
And we have a little mini review of Microsoft.
Knight's Microsoft Business Intelligence 24-hour trainer.
What she said.
See, I can talk and point. I'd be great on like Price is Right or something.
You know what? Maybe fundamental. That doesn't mean I'm very good at it.
You're so cute. So first off, we'll start with a little bit of news. I've got links that are going to be on the Groupies blog.
Okay.
Groupies blog, by the way, is midnightdba.com/groupies, and all the show notes are there and all the links and everything. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about the Intel 8 megabyte solid-state drive.
Okay.
It's actually like... what is it, Alan?
That has a rant.
Yeah, Alan. Alan actually just ordered one of these drives, and then it turns out that there's a bug in a good many of them that wind up reducing the usable space down to 8 megabytes from something like 40 gigabytes, something like that.
Oh, dude, I'd be so pissed off.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I would be so pissed off.
I don't think he's got his in yet, but he's quite nervous. I'm sure they'll fix it for you, Alan.
Sure they will.
So
that's the thing. It's like
600 gigabytes to 8 megabytes. I beg your pardon.
Well, that's a feature. It's like a laptop. It comes with a 200 gig hard drive with 195 of it taken up with crap that you have to take off.
Yeah.
So you're just think of your hard drive as coming preloaded.
Sure. With nothing.
Stuff you can't take off.
With stuff you can't take off. We've got some new videos out this week. Yay! I made 2 new videos to make up for last week, and he made 2 more videos just to show me out. Sean made Insert Into versus Select Into and Windows Crash Dump Analysis.
That was last week's.
Well, fine. You made one.
It's got a date on it.
And I'm all caught up with you. And I made Create and Edit a Simple SSRS Report and Format Multiple SRS Table Fields. Now, I'm going to get started with an award right away.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to click through a couple of times. So my format multiple field thingy is about the fact...
Don't be so technical, dude.
Is about the fact that in SSRS, if you've got a table, let's say that you've got a currency field, you right-click it, you get text box properties, and you format it like you would in Excel to say, okay, I want a dollar sign, I want the negatives to show up with a minus sign on the left side, I want 2 decimal points, blah, 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 right. You can't multiple select several fields and right-click and get table properties. So I found one of the workarounds you can do is to actually go to View Code, find that line where you formatted the one, and then put it in its proper places for the other fields. Works great. Did a blog, did a video. It's on Sequel Awesome Sauce if you want to go and see it. However, as it turns out, I did not realize that, and Mark Bradbourne told me, and made his own video, that yes, you can, you just have to do it through the properties pane.
Oh, I see.
So you can format one, go to
Okay.
the properties pane for it, copy the formatting line, and then select all and do it for all of them.
Okay.
So that's really cool. I still contend that being able to do it in the XML is cool,
It's
but
cool.
his way is easier and safer.
It's actually easier, yeah.
So, my award is for Mark Bradbourne, and we
have
give
an
him.
award. Hold
You
on.
go right ahead.
This is a new award.
New award time,
New
just for
award
you.
time.
For you.
Can it? I'll tell you what. We'll give you guys 3 guesses what the new award is.
Yeah.
Okay.
3. How are they going to guess?
No, it's not going to be a showstopper. Oh, Mark is here.
How would it be? Yeah, I saw him in
Okay.
the chat. He said he was going to be here, and I was like, yay.
Mark of excellence. Yeah, kinda.
Nice, I like
Wave.
it. Wave. He's waving at us.
Oh, I see.
It wasn't a command, but we're sort of trained now.
Yes, we give
Wave.
awards. Yes, we give awards for good stuff. We have
Sure
the
we
had the
do.
golden shower last season.
Yeah, well, I mean, fair's fair. We do give out a lot more, cornholes and aristocratic cornholes. and
There are
stuff.
more cornholes than there are people that need.
It's
golden
true, but we
showers.
do try to recognize excellence when we can, and this is a case where you went beyond the call of duty. You actually made your own video to show me what I was missing out on. So,
So tonight, Mark
chocolate show inducer. No.
Mark Bradbourne gets our brand new, and is the first recipient of our happy ending. Okay.
I love you.
Wow. Dude, man.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I guess we can move on from a little bit of business. Oh, I got a little bit more news.
Okay.
On the lighter side of the news, I found
How was
this.
that? Was that a good happy ending? Was that good for our first happy ending award?
It was good for me. Was it good for you?
Yeah, it was great.
How about you guys? Was it good
You
for you
can't
guys?
stay over though.
I'm sorry.
I was a
Can we
little
cuddle a
uncomfortable
little
with that happy ending.
Sorry. Oh, we got an UGG and an LOL. I'm so happy. And yes, nerdy girl, everyone does love a happy ending. All right, so in other news, I stumbled across this, and I thought it would have the link. Okay, the link to this, I think.
You ain't too bright, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm really, really, really not. I'll look it up in a second, but some of you will recognize this. I'm going to hold this up, and I hope it comes through on both cameras. These books are entitled Where God Went Wrong, Some More of God's Greatest Mistakes, and Who is This God Person Anyway, by Oolong Kalufid. Give yourself 1,000 bonus points if you recognize that and go on with your life. And I'm sorry, but I do have the link for that on, or I will have the link for that on Minute EA Groupie's site.
So, wow, those are actual books. I wonder if we
No,
can
they're
go
not.
for a review. No, they're not?
No.
Aww.
It would be awesome, but this is
Well,
Oolong,
because I wouldn't be surprised.
Oolong Kalufid's Philosophical Blockbusters.
Okay, fair enough.
You recognize it, don't you?
No.
He's going to have to subtract minus 1,000 hit points.
Kiwi got it.
Kiwi got it.
Uh,
Of course, you probably don't get all the letters. Kiwi, for shortening that down to just the initials, give yourself another 1,000 points.
Yeah,
All right.
Kiwi either got it or actually fell asleep.
Oh, no, I have no idea if thank you. All right, so in other news, let's see. Quick quote from the Twitters. This is from SF Slim, and this was retweeted to me. Quote, Harry Potter is about doing what is right in the face of adversity. Twilight is about how important it is to have a boyfriend. That is attributed to Stephen King. I really like that. Harry Potter's coming out today. Last
Oh,
night at
really?
midnight. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. People have been in line and stuff like that. Hey, you want to go see it after this? I do, but
I had a thought crossed my mind like, yeah, we could go at. No.
Mom's here. She can watch the kids.
yeah.
No.
We'd get in at 4 in the morning. Anyway,
I think we should get into...
yeah, it's time. So, Denali CTP3 is available as of this week publicly. And
Absolutely.
I was initially under the impression that it would only be available to the MVP community, and then it was announced publicly, and I was like, oh my god, what a big leak! Oh, wait, okay, we're all good. That's kind of all I had to say about that.
Oh, okay. Well, as long as you brought up Denali, I had to go,
And I
Denali. I thought I would talk about one of their big warehousing, one of their new warehousing features, the column store indexes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is clearly a brand new thing that a lot of people really don't know much about. So I thought I'd give you kind of the overview of what it's all about.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Okay.
So column store indexes are different from what we call row store indexes, right? And everybody know what a row store index is. It stores, the rows and everything, right? But with a column store index, it stores the columns on the page, so entire columns on the page, and they're always compressed. Okay. It does a couple things for you. The speed savings, the speed enhancement, right? The savings that you get comes from having a lot less I/O to pull back because the columns are compressed on the page, and you can fit a lot more of them on there, right? Also, and this is pretty interesting as well, you don't have to worry about. You can only have one column store index per table, and you don't create a column store index to cover the query you're looking for. You create a column store index as a non-clustered column store index for every column on the table. And when you access the column store index, it accesses only those columns. And you know that with a row store index, that it has to access all the columns in the index. But it doesn't do that here. It selects only the columns that it needs. Now, when is this advantageous? It's advantageous when you're pulling back large amounts of data and you're doing huge scans through the table.
Really large amounts of data?
Yeah, really large amounts of data that you would do in really big warehousing scenarios where you're pulling out just gazillions of rows, right? If you're sniping little highly selective queries, you're not going to see really any performance gain, and you might even see a little bit of a degradation, I would imagine, right?
We have a question real quick.
Okay.
Doesn't the column store index make the table read-only, says Zippy?
I'm coming to that. DML operations on a column store table will fail. In order to alter the data on a column store index, you have to either disable or drop the index. You have to it has to be partitioned, and then you just switch it out, right? Or you have a staging table, and you load the data into that, create a column store index on that, and then rename it. You know, like we do, right? But yeah, you're absolutely right. And so therefore, not only is it better on queries that scan a large portion of the table, it's also good on tables that don't have a lot of updates. So it's really not an OLTP thing at all. It really is
For read.
It really is for warehouses where you're going to do a large load all at once, and then like load tons of fact table, a big fact table, and then query that and some of the other tables in the star schema, right? So like I said, your main I/O, your main performance benefit comes from pulling less I/O off the disk. Now, you can't tell it specifically use the column store index, right? You can tell it. You can use.
You can ask nicely.
You can use the index hint and just give it the name of the index, and it'll use that index, right? So there's no way of saying use the column store index, right? But you can tell it to not use the column store index specifically. There is a new query hint called ignore non-clustered column store index, and you can use that.
Or DACPAC for short.
Yes, exactly. I like that.
If you don't like that, write donkill@microsoft.com.
So you can tell it to not use a column store, and there is an algorithm, a very complicated algorithm that SQL will use to determine whether or not to use a column store or not, right? So you can't have a clustered column store, right? You can only have one. It has to be non-clustered, and so there you go. Those are the basics of the column store. So that kind of gives everybody what it's all about, whether or not you should even care. But don't try it on your OLTP systems, guys. A really good place for that is to replicate the data over here, maybe massage it a little bit, turn that into a read store, right? And then have some column store tables over there if you're going to do really big stuff, right? So
Okay, cool.
there you go. That's column store indexes.
I haven't gotten to that. I started installing CTP3 last night, and it took so long coming over from your computer. I would have been better off downloading it off the site,
Shut
as
up.
I had started doing.
Yes, exactly, Kiwi. Fluffy Bunny parallel plan.
Yeah, good time. That's NDA. How dare you? Let's see. That takes care of that. There have been changes in Denali BOL. And I'm going to have links to the article about the changes and the links to the Denali BOL itself, again, on the Groovy blog.
Now, as long as we're on Denali, let's go ahead and back up a little bit and go to R2SP1.
Tell me about R2SP1.
Because there are some really, really good new DMVs coming, and I'll tell you about my favorites. One of my absolute favorites is the OS volume stats. Now, what that does is that lets you, it's a DMV, of course, probably a DMF, yeah, it's a DMF, that lets you, and it takes database ID and file ID, and it lets you merge that with sys.master files.
Mm-hmm.
And not only can you see the file info, but you can also see the volume info that it's on, so you can see what kind of free space you have on that drive. So while you're querying for your files, you can see how much expansion you have, and that's really handy sometimes.
Yeah.
That's good.
And that's an R2SP1, you said.
Yes, that's good. But R2 already added the volume free space to the SMO provider in PowerShell. So if you're using PowerShell, you've already got that, because you can look at the at a file, and then you can pull the volume free space on that, and you can do that in PowerShell already. So I love the DMV. I love having it. I'm using PowerShell for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to spite anybody for using the DMV instead, right? I mean, that's good stuff. Another really interesting one is, and I lost it here, is server registry. You can get information, and this is a DMV, that you can get certain SQL registry info from. So that can be really interesting if you're trying to query your entire environment and make sure that certain registry values are available, right? One of them I haven't really figured out yet, because I haven't played with it. And it's interesting, is DM server services. Now I think this one is good, because it gives you the status of the different SQL services on the box through a DMV, so you don't have to go through WMI and PowerShell anymore to do all that, right? You can just connect and do the thing, which makes it open to group server query and all that other good stuff, right? But the thing I don't really get is the status has to be okay. It has to be running in order, because how you're going to connect to a remote SQL box and check the status through a DMV if it's not there. So I haven't really figured that one out yet. Maybe it provides more, but I'm just saying. Anyway, I'm just saying,
knocking, but
right?
You can't come in. That's the alternate name.
So I'm not really sure what good that does, but okay, right? Like I said, if anybody knows any more about that, then whatever.
Then whatever?
Then whatever, right.
So definitive.
Here, server memory dumps. There's a new server memory dump DMV that gives you information about all the
that one's cool.
the recent crash instance and mini dumps. Good stuff, right?
So if you take a dump in SQL, we've got
gives you the
information
file
about
name,
it.
and it's very limited information, right? It only gives you like the file name, the size in bytes, and the creation time. But it's something that you can query to see if you've had any crash dumps recently. I mean, it's a lot easier than what you got now, right? And that's all I have really for. I think there's another one, but that's all I'll go over right now. Good stuff. I'm sorry, there is one more I wanted to talk about. DMOS Windows info. Now this one is good. You can get a lot of your OS info, the release, the service pack level, the SKU, and whatnot, of the version of Windows you're on, all from a DMV, which is good, because to get a lot of that information you have to go to 2 separate WMI classes. Okay, I'm done.
Sure.
Yes, I'm sure. The screen just went. The chat screen just completely closed. Oh,
And
there it is.
Back again. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Ah, there we go. Well, cool. Lots of new stuff. Speaking of things,
Okay.
let's see. I gotta pick a topic. So I have a question, and then we'll move on, and then we'll come back to it. My question is, for the chat room and for you in a minute, who actually uses the model database for anything whatsoever? I know what it's for, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
But you're asking
But who actually does anything with the model database?
who actually puts objects in there. So we did it
or
my last.
configurations or whatever.
We did it my
hold
last
off,
gig.
hold off. We're gonna talk about it in a minute.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
You asked and I answered.
So, I told you I was going to ask it, and we were going to move on and come back.
Oh, okay.
And you didn't listen to that part. You were
No.
just like, I have an answer. So tech tip.
See what Rockstar does.
I like that guy. So Kiwi, not rock. Anyway. So
But you're not bad, Tom.
so when you're going to do a restore from a UNC path, this is something I've had a lot of trouble with at my current job.
Okay.
And I kept getting this error, and I kept the common problem when you're trying to restore from a UNC path. You know, I took a backup over here in this server on this drive. I want to restore it over here, and it's not working with the whack whack and so forth. Yeah, I guess so.
What the shit is it?
I'm gonna use it later. We're gonna
Oh,
back
okay.
to that one. Stop and run my stuff. So lots of trouble. The trouble with backing up from UNC tends to be the service account for SQL Server does not have permissions to that server or that drive or what have you. And I checked that. I checked it multiple times. So here's what the tech tip boils down to. If you're getting access denied errors when you're trying to restore from a UNC path, be sure that you're checking the service account on the server you're trying to restore to, not the server on which the backup resides. What can I say? We're DBAs, and sometimes the laser focus gets us in trouble. That's kind of all I had. So back to model.
Okay.
You said that at your last job you did that.
At our last job, well, they used it long before I got there, but they had a whole host of user accounts and auditing tables and whatnot that they needed to go on every database, so they use model. The only thing I personally use it for now, and I'm talking, I do this religiously, is I change all of the file parameters. So I change the growth rates of the files in models so that if anybody comes in and creates a database on their box, at least it's set up to the standard I want.
Yeah. So your logs aren't increasing at 10%?
Yeah, something like that. And my data file's at 1 meg.
Yeah. Well, is it like 1 or I thought it was 10 or 100? Nice round numbers.
Yeah. Anyway.
You'll never need more than 10 meg.
Probably not.
Anyway, all right, I'm good. So nobody in chat appears to care about model. So I'm just going to go ahead and conclude that you and Laurent are the only ones that use model for anything. Okay, all right, it's your turn.
My turn, huh?
We're getting largely distracted by chat tonight.
Yeah, well, you know. Hey, I give a nice long tip. I mean, I give a nice long DMV
You get a nice
thing.
long what? Nice long what?
Here's something fun.
Go.
I'm looking for DBAs.
Oh, I'm a DBA.
Are you?
You're looking for DBAs.
I'm looking for a DBA.
Tell me about
Now,
your DBA search.
I have been searching for quite some time, and I've sent
You have been searching.
I've sent 3 or 4 emails to the user group saying, hey, if anybody wants to do something, right?
By the way, guys, remember.
By the way, remember, right. So I sent a different kind of email to the user group this week.
What kind
in
of email
request
was
for
it?
in request for the DBA, and it reads like this.
Na, 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 na.
It said, hey guys, I'm still searching for that special someone who wants to come work with someone who smiles all the time and brings cooking and rainbows to work every day. Send me your resume if you like to be showered with sunshine. You'd be surprised the number of responses I got off of that stupid email.
No, I wouldn't because I've been following it. But go
Okay.
ahead. They might be surprised.
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, sure.
Sean's horny for
So-
junior DBA, sure.
So, a number of people chimed in. Some of them saying, "Yay, sunshine." Some of them saying, "Well,
Yeah,
right?"
sure.
But some of them saying that I'm just the gist was, right, that I'm really, really picky and I expect everybody to be as good as me. The thing went away again.
Chat keeps going away and coming back.
What are you doing?
Well, I gotta move the mouse to keep the.
Oh, it's a
screen.
mouse?
Yeah, I've got a mouse over here, and then.
Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. But so everybody keeps saying that I expect everybody to be, quote, as good as me, and I'm like, that's so far from the truth, right? That really is. I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but it was a really fun discussion. Part of it was, that's all I have. I don't want to take up too much time with that, but I was surprised that I got like 5 new interviews out of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Just from
that.
Funny.
Yeah.
Can you move the thing? Because I can see. There you go. Okay, so we've done that. Boy, I'm running out of stuff. One of the interesting things this week, you did a blog on Temp DB contention that linked to Robert L. Davis, that's Sequel Soldier on Twitter, Robert L. Davis's blog on Temp DB contention. And I read yours, and then I read his, and then I got an email saying, or maybe it was on Twitter, Sequel Soldier's Temp DB contention webcast is starting in 15 minutes. And I'm like, really?
Wow. Well, it's
sweet.
It's really funny because we had a slowdown this week, and I was in sys processes looking at things, right? And I noticed that in the weight resource column, everything was 2:, blah, 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 right? And so I looked at the pages, right? Yeah, and I looked at the pages, and I used DBCC page for it instead of the way that Robert did it, which was a lot more elegant, but I still got the answer.
Yeah, sure.
And it turned out to be the PFS page, so I had, file contention. And I added 6 files, and I haven't had the problem since. And it went away like within a minute, just boom.
Good man.
And then I was like, I wonder what the internet says about this, and I went out and did it. And one of the first things I found was his thing, and I found that query, and I was like, well, fine. But that's fine. It's all good, right?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with finding something. Someone else has written it, but that saves me the trouble now, doesn't it? But yeah, again, links to that will be on the show notes for this show. This is episode 2, by the way, season 3. So yeah, I just thought that was great. It was a really good session, and that recording is up on Idera now. It's a little hard to find, but I think it's under like on-demand webcasts or something.
Oh, on Idera? Yeah, if you go to their webcasts and there's...
Oh, you know what? I think I've got a link to it.
There's an on-demand
That'll be
button
on the
right there.
Groupie site.
You can look at their on-demand stuff. Absolutely. It's not hard to find. But you do have to give them your info.
You know what? It is getting pretty close to almost time for our Man in the Field report, isn't it?
It is getting close to the Man in the Field report. Why don't you play us into that?
Play us into that with what?
Intro it, ass.
So we're going to have a Man in the Field report. Nick Kane, Sir Sequel on Twitter, and I believe SirSequel.net, isn't that right, Nick? Is our Man in the Field, and this week he's doing a little bit of content about the anticipation for CTP3, I believe.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So give me a second to get this all hooked up, and why don't are you going to call him?
Well, I was going to wait to get...
There's not much more I have to say.
I was going to wait till I got it plugged in.
Here. We learned our lesson last week about dialing in.
Yeah, well, kind of. I don't learn lessons myself.
I was told this.
I tried the speaker trick of iDroid for a conference call this week, and my Droid flipped out and started playing music.
There are some players that are really weird about that. They'll
The
just
Amazon
randomly.
player is what it was. At first I was looking at the regular music player, but the Amazon player was just totally hosing it.
Huh.
The Force Clones fixed it.
Wow, that's going to be so loud.
I'll just hold on to this for a minute.
Hello.
Wow, he was right. It was loud. Hi, Nick.
Nick, we've got our senior, what is he this week?
He's our senior fanboy correspondent.
Our senior fanboy correspondent. Nick, it sounds like you're kind of in a crowd there. What's going on there, bud?
Well, it's a little bit crazy. It's kind of really leads into what you were talking about before in CTP3.
Oh, really?
Some crazy scenes here. Yeah, I mean, I'm down here. I'm sitting outside MSDN, and we've got people queued around the block.
Wow.
And maybe 2 more blocks.
Wow.
And all waiting to get CTP3.
Is there any chance they think it's the Harry Potter opening?
No, absolutely. That's playing across the street.
Oh, I see. So they're skipping the Harry Potter opening to get CTP3.
people over the street have got wands, and these guys, not so much.
All right.
Is there any kind of is there any kind of holy war or anything going on with the Harry Potter people?
Actually, no, things are very calm. There was a little bit of trouble earlier today, but, once they put their robes back on, things kind of calmed down a little bit.
All right. Well, if you've got a prepared report, then go for it. We'll hang on here.
Yeah, well, people have obviously been waiting months for this CTP release, because
Yeah.
CTP1, it was a long time ago that we saw that. It was back at PALS, wasn't it, when we saw that last? So,
Was it
it's been
at
a good 8 months, 9 months.
Wow.
So, now it's finally here. This tent city, which is out here around MSDN, is slowly being demolished. There's a lot of excitement for these fans.
Wow.
They really want to get a handle on Always On. But that excitement is tinged with a little sadness as a whole bunch of level 18 night elves sheathe their swords and the land party dissipate. It's a very mixed crowd here, as you would expect, but it is quite easy to tell people apart.
Hey, Nick, take just a moment and step a little bit away from the crowd. They're a little bit unruly.
Well,
There we go. Thank
ETAs
you.
and developers in the same place.
All
You know
right.
how that gets.
All right, thanks. Go ahead. We can hear you better now.
Okay, so over here we've got a bunch of SQL and BI developers sitting around with pillows shoved up their striped shirts, trying and failing to look like Ellen Page. I'm not sure whether or not they understand that Juno is just a code name for the new dev tools and not an actual tribute to the movie.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay.
Absolutely.
We've got some other BI folks here. They're dressed up like Richard Hatch in the classic 70s Battlestar Galactica series.
Oh,
They've
my.
obviously got a love, like you, Sean, for clone store indexes.
Oh, my God.
All right. So,
As for the DBAs, you can actually easily recognize them as they're either wearing Hobbit boots or a Julian LaForge visor. And some of them are wearing both.
Okay. Do you know why
Well-
they're wearing those things?
They're still nerds.
Fair enough. All right. Okay. Silly me.
So, watching them as the line shuffles forward with the sound of 1,000 inhalers, a new victim joins the queue by stepping into the thickly layered cloud of funk that permeates the once clean air here.
Oh, God.
Wait, something's happening.
What is it?
There's a disturbance in the cloud. Like a million DBAs cried out and were suddenly silenced.
What happened there?
People are running. Oh my God, DBAs are running.
Is there gunfire?
Oh, the humanity. Wait, look, I'm going to get closer and see if I can figure out what's happening.
All right.
is it a band of end users?
Sean, you're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this. Is unbelievable. They've just released Service Pack 1 for SQL 2008 Part 2. Folks are streaming over trying to be amongst the first to get the RTM of this limited release. Oh my God, Service Pack 1 is here. It's here, guys. It's insane. I still want 20 minutes. Guys, I've got to go. Guys,
Absolutely,
wait,
fabulous.
hang on, wait.
Hold on. Oh, wow. Well, I hope
I think we lost him. I hope he's all right.
I hope he makes it through that safely.
We lost him, ass.
Well, there was
As he dropped the phone, there was some additional crowd noise.
Boy, I hope we don't wind up getting a very close-up black and white sniveling video later.
I know,
Of him
right?
apologizing to his woman for various things.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that was outstanding. So that was some live coverage of the CTP3 release. Apparently, people are queuing up blocks long for this release, and wow, I wasn't expecting that. Gosh, I guess Redmond's really the place to be tonight.
I guess so. Wow.
All
Okay,
right.
so, besides, isn't MSDN hosted like Bangalore or something? I want to.
It's only a month.
I've got a little thing.
You've
Oh,
got
yeah.
a little.
I thought I wanted
That's
to.
all you
I
wanted
wanted.
to
I wanted to
say.
talk for just a second about an interview I had today.
Is it anything like this? You said.
That's not.
I'm just
cool.
asking.
There are people watching.
Really?
I'm the DBA. I have to be the in the place.
You were talking about your little thing.
Anyway, so I had an interview today, and I think I've reached a new low in interviewing.
I was going to say, you've reached a new low? Or
I personally have reached a new low.
what did you do?
So I went from having my list of my question pool, right,
Okay.
to keeping my question pool on my box and just going in there and then renaming it, making a new file, appending their name to it, and writing down their answers so I can A, make fun of them on the show, and B, go back and look at it later and see what they said when I'm trying to remember which one they were, right? What's hard to watch? While I had my box today, I had, and I've got full wireless in my building, right? So I was asking the guy some questions, and he would give me something like, I would say, okay, so how would you find out this information? He would say, you query this, and I'm like, so I reached a new low. Show me.
Really?
I got SMS open. I got a local instance here. Show me. And then there was nothing, and then there was no data there, right, to have. He was like, well, there's no data. I said, you're right. Connected him to one of my production instances. Show me. That's production.
Dude.
Anything you do to production, I do to you.
I learned that from The Godfather, too.
Yeah. And it was like one of those, well, how do you get the last query that a SPID ran, right? SP who to?
Wait.
No.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I do it all the time.
No, you don't.
Here, show me. It's a new low for me because, wow.
Wow.
I mean, people just they just die right there on the spot. He goes, and then he grabs SP who to, boom, and turns it back around, and I'm like, no.
Very
I didn't
good.
say, can you spell SP who to? I said, show me the query that the guy ran.
Oh, good. You were able to type and execute a SQL command. You're ahead of 10% of the crowd.
And it's like, and he goes, oh, well, I guess it's not here. No. You do it all the time. So anyway, and I must have done that like 5 times during it. Show me.
And he went home to tell his wife about this dick that was interviewing me.
I know, right?
You wouldn't believe this. Nice.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna keep that because I kind of like it.
Yeah. I want to say it's kind of a dick move, but only because it points out their failure. So.
Amazing how that pisses people off.
I know, right? So I'm actually kind of out of stuff here.
That's okay. I got stuff.
Oh, you got stuff? I'm using the wrong keyboard. You need me to jump down?
No. I'll go ahead and get my rant out of the way.
Rant. We're
We
saying
need-
rant, not grant.
Yeah, Grant. So, okay, at work, we got moved under a new director. They're completely reorganizing the entire department, who hasn't seen this played out, right? And along with that, so I'm the team lead, right? And for the last year, I've been like the acting manager sort of thing. I mean, my director just said, I don't want to deal with the databases. You deal with the DBAs any way you see fit, and just keep it away from me. I don't want to hear anything about databases, right? So now we're being moved under a new director, and we're getting an official manager, right? So I said, what type of management position are you looking for? Is this going to be the type of management that I'm doing right now, which is mostly, basically, tech lead kind of stuff, and then also doing their tech reviews and all,
Sure.
and all that stuff, right? Or is this going to be just a regular pencil pushing kind of manager? Because I said, I don't understand how we would even need one of those. We're a very self-sufficient group. We all get along. There's no drama, right? There's nothing. We come to work. We do databases. We go home. There's what needs managing, right? So I had a discussion with him this morning, And it is going to be a regular pencil pushing kind of managerial kind of thing.
Watch how snobbily you say that, because these things are recorded, and they're going to hire a guy. And he's
whatever. You made me.
Pencil pushing
Okay.
position.
Okay, so a strict managerial position, right? So, and he said, I just don't know if you want to go that route. And I said, well, you know,
Here in the mic pencils.
yeah, I know, right? I said, well, could it be a keyboard pushing position? So I don't even know if, yeah, I know, right, Kiwi? So I don't even, so I don't think I want to go that route because I want to stay in IT. But my rant is this, and this is, you can call me the Reverse Godfather, right?
Okay.
And that's going to be the show title too, by the way, guys, the Reverse Godfather, because every time I try to get in, they push me right back out. And what I mean by that is, you know, there's no place in most companies, and by most I mean most companies, you've got two paths you can go by. You can start up the techie route, right? And you can go up to like senior tech or team lead in a lot of places, right? And then you've got a choice to make. You can stop, or you can get out of tech and take the management route and go up to manager and then director and then VP and then CXO or something like that, right? But you've got to get completely out of IT in order to advance in most companies.
Yeah, you do.
And so there is no place for techies to go. We are grunts, and we will always be grunts, and you're a slightly higher grunt than the other grunts, but when it comes right down to it, you never get to share in the management stuff. I mean, you could be a gazillion times better at what you do in managing your people and architecting the thing and really guiding the taking the big rudder of the company and your thing and steering this big company where it needs to go and making sure that you don't hit any icebergs, and you still will have to settle for your 2 or 3% little piece of shit bonus while your director and VP take 200 and 300K for your work and your ideas. And
Yeah. Now, Alan brings up a good point. Go independent consultant, and you get to do it all.
yes, and that's
So
another,
there is another career path, and a lot of people clearly have done
and that was exactly where I was going with this. If you actually want to get ahead, more ahead, you have to break off and go on your own. Because and part of the problem isn't just rising up isn't just that there's no career path for IT people, right? Because here I can go. I'm at TL, and currently there is no further for me to go, which means that your salary is going to be capped too, and you're eventually not going to be able to make any more money. And you're going to do what now? Just sit in that same position forever and ever and ever, while managers keep going up and up and up and making more money, and they're and I'm going to put on my DBA hat here, right? And they're just as useless as they've always been, because managers have never solved a problem. Nobody ever says, "Quick, we need another manager on this technical issue."
Whatever you do, don't call the fire department. Sorry, random quotes.
So anyway, I'm just saying
Well, we get two things.
That's my rant is there is no place for techies to go. Nobody recognizes a career path for techies. On the management side even, right?
Yeah. Three things, actually. One, Alan also acknowledges that consulting is high risk.
Yeah.
And now he and several others are celebrating not having wives and kids so they can go out and be risk takers. Anyway, but one of the things that I wanted to say was, this is going to be a bit of a callback, and then we'll get on to the Reverse Godfather thing. There is, thanks to our senior fanboy correspondent, there is a big prize to give away tonight to a lucky member of our live audience. Now, the prize is supplied by Nick Kane, Sir Sequel, and therefore I think...
That's Sir Sequel.
Sir Sequel. .net. So he was also able to choose the method by which we would give it away.
Is it a happy ending?
It will be for whoever gets the prize.
Whoever can bring a happy ending in chat.
Okay, so Part of his report involved a reference to Richard Hatch, in the original Battlestar Galactica. Now, the first person to provide the link between him and a SQL Server code name in chat wins the prize. So,
You're going to tell them what the prize is?
I don't know.
Because why would they say it unless... Why would they play?
All right, if it's
You get to be Nick's bitch.
We're
All right,
playing.
go ahead.
We're playing for a full set of past DVDs.
That is good stuff.
Some people in chat go, got them.
Oh, Kiwi got it. But Kiwi, don't you live like a zillion light years away? Are you coming to pass? So you can pick them up instead of us shipping them halfway around the world?
Nick's the one that's got to ship them.
Well, yeah, but we don't pay him enough for that crap.
His wife's listening.
I pay for my own set. He can pay for that. Anyway, so there you go.
But well
Woo!
done, Kiwi.
Well done, Kiwi.
Oh, you are coming to pass? Is that?
So.
Oh,
Anyway.
excellent. Well, that was easy. So yes, the answer was Project Apollo, and I regret to say that I had to have that explained to me with the Richard Hatch VST. And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And
Okay.
he told me. So
There
thanks
you
for not
go.
making me feel stupid. The other thing was the Reverse Godfather thing. We had a bit of fun with this today when we decided that that was going to be the show title because you thought Reverse Godfather would be. Go ahead. You don't remember?
No, not at all.
That,
Sorry.
that you would go around, Reverse Godfather in the DBA world would be going around to different people and everybody refuses to do what you say.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody
yeah,
will do
that's
you
right.
any favors no matter what you've done for them.
You need to add an index to that table.
Fuck you, Godfather.
But shouldn't you have a very clear and pronounced voice?
Sorry, Reverse Godfather.
Yeah, fair
I can't
Reverse.
do that.
But people had fun with this. People took off with this on their own. So, here are a few Reverse Godfather hashtags from today. Let's see, I gotta get down here so I can see people. Badger Bully says, "I'm not smart. I can't handle things. Dumb, not smart." Okay. Steve Smith Sequel said, "Take the gun, leave the cannoli."
Absolutely. Don't leave the cannoli.
Don't leave the cannoli. And he also said, "Just when I thought I was in, they pulled me back out," which is something I think that you had said. Hang on, I'm going to skip up a little bit. The fishes stay awake with Luca Brasi. That's, again, Steve Smith's sequel on Twitter.
I like that.
Let's
He snores.
Oh, Luca stays awake with the fishes.
I said I can refuse no one on the day of my daughter's funeral. Kind of an imposition, really. Lady Runa said, "You found a bed inside a horse's head?" Our friend Zippy1981, who was in chat, said, "So will there be rants about offers Sean couldn't accept?" Let's see. Sequel Cheesecake says, "Did someone make some refuse that they didn't offer you?" And let's see, come on, there's more. Nope, that was it. But somebody in chat gave me a couple, and I think we let it fall off the screen. But anyway, I truly enjoyed that.
Okay, so I've got a couple other rants. Just to kind of catch up a little bit, right? Is she in chat? Are you in chat?
No.
Okay, just
Oh.
wondering. Oh, I see. Okay, so a couple of, one of the things that, oh God, I don't even know how to say this. One of the things that gets me is vendors that assume they're the only thing on your box. Shut up. But we've kind of got that in well, not kind of. We've got that in our enterprise where they've got an application that pushes applications out that they want you to have, right? And this application is one of those that it kills me. It utterly kills me because it pushes stuff out without telling you.
Yeah.
And then while you're in the middle of something, it says your box will be rebooted now. You just get a flash that says your box will be rebooted now. You don't get a chance to save anything. You don't get, and it's like, are you kidding me? And so the other night, and you remember, I was sitting right here, and you were somewhere, and you probably heard me bitching about this.
Yes, I did.
We were in the middle of a downtime, and it was very time sensitive. We took our 24/7 application offline just long enough to move the log file to a different drive, right? So I shrunk it, and I moved it to a different drive. And right as I started to get the thing done, they said, we've got 15 minutes to do this and no more. Right as I started to log in and get things done, it installed something on my box and shut it down. And my box takes forever to reboot. And they're going, is it almost done? I said, no, my box rebooted because you people think that, that y'all are the most important thing going on. God, that pisses me off. So anyway, that's all I had on that. It kills me.
Real quick, they're talking about tech people without SQL skills, or without SQL skills, without people skills.
So Windows
without
people, right? Exchange people.
talking skills.
I'm good at SQL. What the hell's wrong with you, SQL?
I don't know that I would say that nobody has good people skills. No, that's not true. We have some rather charming people in the community, but probably the vast majority of us are lacking in one direction or another. I was out with my dad actually and his wife, and hanging out with them for a week on a boat made me realize what extroverted actually means. Did you notice that? Because she would actually like talk to people.
Oh yeah, she
and be interested in people, which is so weird.
I know you're the extrovert of this family. So.
I know, and even I was just like, that is so weird. I'm the extrovert of the family, and I still get pissed off when people try to chit chat with me at work. Hey, how you doing? Fuck you. I mean, fine.
Yeah.
Which one is the proper answer? I'm done. That's my rant.
I've got people skills and none. I got people skills when I want to or when I need to.
Yeah.
But you and I were talking about this today. They've really, really gone out of their way to push my buttons at this job.
Yeah, they have.
And there is only so much that even Brent Ozar or Paul or Kim or anybody would have. I mean,
we haven't done this in a long time. Ozar.
You can only take so much, and they have gone out of their way to really push my buttons, right?
They have.
And so,
I've seen it.
And it's amazing I've held on this long. I mean, it is. But anyway, and I've only really blown up on a call once.
Okay.
How'd that go? I've only really lost it on a call once. It was when I was trying, because we have these, we're famous for these troubleshooting calls where everybody and their mother is allowed to be on them. So without exaggerating, we'll get an email that says, on call people, get on the bridge line, right? Because we have a downtime, and downtime to us means that one of the queries is running a second slower than it usually does.
OMG, panic. Oh no.
So you'll get on there, and when you sign in, it'll say, there are 73 people on the call, including you. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And so the one time I lost it was when I had been on the phone already for like 4 or 5 hours, and we were trying to, but this was a really big, this is a really big call, right? And there were that many people on the call, and I was trying to ask one of the Windows guys a question about the cluster setup because I was trying to verify something, and there was so much chatter on them. Nobody would shut up, and they were just bullshitting about nothing.
Party line.
Yeah, party line. And I just, will y'all shut up? I'm trying to troubleshoot the issue. Shut up. And everybody just went, and I halfway got chewed out for it the next day. But you know what? Screw y'all, dude. I'm trying to work here. My job my life isn't to sit on this call and just sit here and listen to you assholes just chatter about what you're doing while we're trying to solve the problem.
Let me step into domestic mode for a moment and testify that as the wife, I've actually grown fairly irritated with the constant hours and hours and hours long conference calls that happen, generally speaking, at dinner.
Yeah, I know, right?
Pretty much. You come home, you cook dinner, and then a call comes in, and then you're on the call. And I know it's not your fault, and no, there's nothing you can do about it. It's the corporate culture.
Right. And the culture to date has been, I'm the only DBA they'll deal with.
Yeah.
And I had a talk with my new director this morning about this, and he was telling me, well, you've got kind of a reputation here for for being hard to work with and so on and so on. I said, dude, name one other person in this entire company that absolutely everybody insists on having on the call, and nobody will deal with anybody else in that group. Name one other person.
Which is why you're on so many calls.
In any group, not just IT, name one person in any group in this entire company that has to be on every single troubleshooting call with 70 people babbling, and don't get me started on my rant again. But name one other person, and they've pushed me, right? And now things are getting better. I went to my boss like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I said, no more. Because I had been on a particularly bad one, right? And I said, no more. This stops, right? It stops. I can't do this anymore. So it's actually gotten better. There was a downtime, and I mean a real nobody is working because the major application just flat out wasn't working, right? Downtime in the middle of the night last week, and I didn't even hear about it until I got up the next day and was going through my email on the way to work and go, there was a downtime? So somebody got on the phone with somebody and said, stop it.
So I like this one from Nick. Sean, it takes 70 people to reboot all the servers every time there's a problem.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, there's a lot of servers. That's a lot of buttons.
And don't get me wrong, guys. It's extremely flattering that I'm the only DBA they trust to be on these calls, right? But I can't. Not only can I not be on every call, I can't be on every call with you people. because there are so many.
It's you.
Because of the people that are on there are 5 techs and 70 end users, and every one of them knows 2 or 3 buzzwords, and those are the buzzwords that one person will pull out and say, maybe it's this.
And we hit a threshold.
And that's one of them. And everybody will just pounce on that, and nobody will ever listen to me again. So I always make the joke that I'm so sick of being the only DBA that they insist on ignoring. So, anyway, there you go.
Well,
you want me to do this book, don't you?
We've only got a couple minutes left.
Oh my God, you're right. Okay, so switching gears.
You need a little bit of filler time?
I need a little bit of filler time.
It's
Anyway.
filler time.
It's filler time. Okay, so we have here, and I'm going to do my best, Knight's Microsoft Business Intelligence 24-Hour Trainer.
That's pretty good. You were reading it sideways.
How you doing?
Hi.
Okay, this book, I read a couple of these chapters, right? I haven't read the whole book. I said this was going to be a quick book review, right? And this is an overall... I'm shouting, aren't I?
Only a little.
This is an overall BI book, okay, that covers all of the technologies that will get you from A to Z if you're starting a BI effort, right? So it covers SIS, it covers SRS, SAS, and not in huge detail, but
And SharePoint.
And SharePoint. Not in huge detail, but it does have enough to really get you started. So it shows you how to... One of the chapters I read was on creating a matrix report in SRS, and it gives you some really good advice in there and shows you how to do it step by step. And the book itself comes with a DVD with exercises on it. So all the exercises in there you can actually go through here on the DVD yourself. And it's... Now, okay, I'm going to say it's not a bad little book. In the sense that Brand Knight does not produce crap. I have never read anything from Brands that is complete crap. Just flat out, right? Some authors you gotta kind of watch, right? But Brand Knight usually does pretty good stuff. I'm gonna say that if you're experienced with SQL and completely new to BI, you'll probably get a really good overview of BI out of this book because it's basic stuff, right? But it shows you things that you need to know to get all the way. I mean, it even goes into a little MDX, so it's not necessarily for the faint-hearted.
Would you say it's for the curious?
Yes, it's for the BI curious. If you are not experienced with SQL and you're just like completely new, hey, I think I'll get started in SQL. I think I'll get this book because BI sounds like a good thing. You may be a little lost. It doesn't go and explain the extreme basics, right? It gets you started with these applications, gets you started writing reports, gets you started loading data, gets you started writing MDX with cubes, right? It gets you started with cubes, so you do a couple cubes in here. So it'll show you what you need to know to get started, and if you want to get really, really deep, you're going to have to go somewhere else. But
And
I have no problems with this.
And I haven't gotten into this at all. But one thing that I really like, and this is going to sound a little bit
All the
something.
pictures?
Yeah, I really
Yeah,
like
it's
all
got
the
a lot
pictures.
of
It's got
pictures.
every single page you open up. It's got a diagram, a screenshot, a something. Every single page, which that really is awesome. There's a lot to say for visualization.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of step by steps, which is also.
Yeah, a lot of
Really
step-by-steps.
awesome.
So,
And that's something that I've been thinking about lately is, I won't make this a long thing, but to learn something, do it. I know I don't follow that enough. You gotta do it. I want to learn more about this. Do it. Set up a scenario. Go and do it. This is a
and
good
that's
kind of book.
that's something that I wanted to talk about last week that we didn't get around to. Is I can't stress enough to you guys when you go to learn something. Like reading a book, and I see this so much from DBAs when they read a book, they haven't really committed anything to memory. They can't tell you anything about it at the end, right? And I call it active reading, right? Mm-hmm. Read it and then do it. It'll take you a lot longer to get through the book, but the point is to learn it, not to flip pages as fast as you can, right? So if you're going through something like the internals book, and this goes back, we've talked about this a couple times, and this was the big topic of our very first episode. I remember this very well, right?
Really?
But
Which is online
learning,
at midnightdba.com.
yeah, under season 1. If you're doing something that's highly technical, like the internals book, and they give you a lot of stuff in there, a lot of queries, a lot of DBCC commands and whatnot, right? Run those and run them in all different scenarios and figure out what output you get and where you can use it and where you can't and where it's good. I mean, it'll take you a lot longer to get through that chapter and ultimately a lot longer to get through the book, but you'll actually learn something. How many times?
And when they say, "What the hell are you doing? Turning on trace slides and running DBCC on production?" you can say, "I'm studying. I'm
Exactly.
studying like the wind."
Yeah, but so not only, I mean, and we have a guy at work that does it. He reads sequel books constantly. He really does. I mean, he's voracious.
He's doing it right now, actually.
Yeah, he's voracious. He reads a lot, but he never ends up learning anything. If you ask him something, he goes, "I've heard of that, and I read about it just last month. I was reading something, but you didn't do any of it, so you didn't. Why are you reading it if you're not even going to do anything, right?" So, active learning, active reading. If you're going to read it, turn around and do it, or don't even bother, because it's not going to stick. Some things can, right? Like if you're reading on execution plans and you go to read somebody's blog, you don't have to stop and do it right there. But how many times have you noticed that if somebody has a repro of something, if they've got an execution plan that they're trying to show you, a lot of times they'll give you the repro code for it. And how much better does it stick with you if you actually run the repro and look at it yourself? It sticks with you a lot better than if you just go, "Oh, look at the picture," and then move on.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much time.
Yeah.
Are you dying to talk more?
Let me see if I have.
While he's seeing, I'm going to read where we're going to be. So let's hop down a little bit.
Oh yeah, I got one more rant.
Well,
It's
go
a
ahead.
tiny rant, but still.
Go ahead.
Back on the interviewing thing, I sent that email to the user group. You know that funny rainbow and sunshine thing.
Yeah.
And
Did they read it accurately?
one of the guys that I had interviewed before and passed on, right? And it doesn't matter why, right? Has been sending me emails ever since. Every time I send an email that I'm looking for DBAs to the group, he sends me emails. Basically, "You'll never find anybody better than me, and aren't you upset that you passed on this, and you're going to miss
Where
all
are you
this
going to
now."
find a DBA that can move like this?
And I'm just like, really?
Really?
I got 2 guys actually doing that now.
Really?
Yeah.
Can they both move like that?
Neither one of them can, I bet. But it's really kind of, really? You know what? If I thought it were all that, I wouldn't have passed. And one of them I was really upset. Anyway, it's the long one. But anyway, I just think that's interesting that you pass on somebody and you give them a very specific reason why, and it's very valid. And then they turn around and say, "Well, you'll never find anybody better than me. Aren't you upset that you passed on all this?" Clearly not, or I would be
crying into my beer.
Or I'd be calling you now and offering you the job, right? So anyway,
like they've turned you down 10 times.
But it's just, it's when people think that they should have been. It's like on American Idol, right? When somebody gives a really shitty audition and they can't sing for shit.
They have no talent when they see it.
And they turn around and go, "Just give me one more chance. Just give me one more chance." And you're like, "You suck. No, I'm not going to give you. Come on, please, just let me sing one." And then they sing all the way out the door and all the way down the hall. And you're just like, "Oh God,
stop singing."
But it's kind of like that. It's like, no, you were actually that bad. I'm not going to give you another chance.
And on that uplifting note,
I am spent.
In the next 7 weeks, July 27th, I'll be speaking at EDM Pass
What does that stand for?
The interwebs. I don't know. Edmonton.
Okay.
In Canada. They don't know who I am.
I mean,
we're otherwise banned in Canada.
Yes.
On July 29th, I will be performing a sequel lunch on the interwebs. August 6th,
an interpretive single lunch.
August 6th, we will be at Baton Rouge, Sequel Saturday. August 12th, Dallas Tech Fest.
Baton Rouge to Gazelle.
Darling. August 27th, OKC, Sequel Saturday is where we'll be. So,
yes.
I have 5 speaking engagements in the next 7 weeks. Yay me.
Yay. And I have 3. So
that's
she's
not bad.
2 better than me, as always.
Yeah. I'm being asked about Atlanta. I don't know. I would love to do Atlanta, but I don't know. I'm doing an awful lot of traveling and an awful lot of speaking. But I've got friends in Atlanta that I'll never get to see. So, anyway, on that note,
hot friends.
Hot
too.
friends.
you shut the hell up.
I need
But
to go
she doesn't
visit
watch
my
the
journal
show.
now.
So, on that creepy note, I think we're going to end. All right, we'll see you guys next week. And
Absolutely. This
was a good show.
was a good show.
It was a good show.
Sometimes we end the show and everybody goes, "Hey, good show," and I go, "Eh," because I have pretty high standards for the show. It doesn't show. It doesn't show by the end result. But in here, I've got high standards.
Sure.
And sometimes I'm not very pleased with it. This week I thought it was
So I've
pretty
been playing
good.
the music. He'll shut up eventually.
Yeah.
I'll get the hint. It's like the Oscars. You get louder and louder and louder.
Play us out, Fredward.
Oops, towards the end of the song. Wonderful.
Party on Wayne.
Party on Garth.
The suspense was killing me.
Wish I could dance. You can push the button whenever you like, and I'll stop doing this.
Oh, he pushed the button 2
This is
minutes
funny
ago.
not.